Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are currently inserting... Hello Kerbin, I didn't expect to see you there. Where we are currently inserting our rocket into Eve orbit. Now, this is currently our match planes burn that we are setting up right now, and this is actually still our first stage, so we're getting a long ways here. We have a fairly lengthy time warp here, but I figured I'd, babble incoherently for a little bit. So here we are, babbling incoherently. We are going to be doing our match planes burn, and then we're going to do a home in transfer, and it'll be easy peasy. In fact, this will be slightly less complicated and slightly less delta V intensive than putting the satellite in orbit over Gilly was. So that's, awkward. We're going to be going for basically whatever inclination we get will be fine, but we're going to be going for a maximal orbit around Eve, just as big as we can get so that we have maximum coverage. And we're behind Eve for as little time as possible. Unlike our MOHO satellites, which are kind of close in and tend to lose connections a lot. But between that and the Gilly satellite, I think we should be fine with connections most of the time. Okay, there we go. We have matched planes with the target, so now we just need to home and transfer. And I'm kind of thinking... I mean, it's going to be a little awkward, but I'm kind of thinking we burn somewhere... Yeah, I thought so. Around here is good. I like this. Let's take a quick look at our MOHO. What? No. Focus Eve. Why you no focus Eve? Oh, because Eve is here. That would help. Okay, so we are currently at 33 million kilometers for our periapsis. So let's just go ahead and raise that out. How much can we raise that out? Not a ton for right now, it would appear. It looks like about 34 million kilometers, or 34 kilometers, 34,000 kilometers. Wow. Apparently metric system is hard today. Apparently about 34,000 kilometers is about the max that we can reach right now. We'll be able to tweak that a bit, to be sure. So we're going to go ahead and do this burn. That's going to be in 265 days, which is a little, lengthy. But it's fine. It's only 750 meters per second, so we can get half of that with our first stage even. We have overbuilt this rocket. Just a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn on RCS real fast so that we actually get to where we need to go. There we go. Hopefully that doesn't adjust our orbit too much. It's fine though if it does. Honestly, we just need to get an orbit around Eve and then we can adjust it. So I'm going to go ahead and throttle up right about now. There we go. And we are going to time warp. On we go. So we have another 200 days in this time warp. So, how's you guys' year been? Well, your year's pretty much over, based on this. Kerbin Day is, of course, 400 years. That came out wrong. Kerbin year is 400 days, and each day is 6 hours. And each hour, well, that's a normal hour. Okay, I'm going to stop babbling incoherently for a moment to just point out that this time warp is nearly done. So we're going to make this burn, and then we're going to have another relatively lengthy time warp while we actually do the intercept. But I just want to make sure that MechJeb actually nails this. I hope it does. This inclination is going to be a little awkward, but it'll actually be a nice match with the Gilly inclination, I think. That's the theory, anyway. Well, we should be burning momentarily. We should be burning already, honestly. But I guess we're trying to turn instead. There we go. Excellent. And we are out in our first stage. Get out of here, first stage. Nobody likes you. You got us this far, but no further. There we go. Now we can actually turn a bit, which will be nice. We have 30 minutes of burn on this nuclear engine. It's just insane. Thrust to weight over Gilly for the nuclear engine is plenty high to actually land with a nuclear engine, right? I think it is. Now, of course, we should probably get around to landing a rover on both Moon and Minmus. Just go back, do that really fast. Just because we can then do science data from surface contracts, so that'll be helpful. We won't be able to do plant flags, of course, but it's fine. Completely fine. Gonna go ahead and time warp this up because nuclear engine burns are really slow. There we go. So here in another 10 seconds, since we're at 4x speed, this burn will be completed. So, you know, like right now. Excellent. Now, once we're here, in 153 days, we're going to want to burn retrograde, although not that much retrograde. We're going to want to burn a little less retrograde. A little more than that. About there. 83 kilometers? Is that the best we can do? It might be. Let's see. We can get 84 kilometers. So that's going to be our target. We're then going to try to circularize from here, but for now, we will just execute next node. Let's go ahead and warp up. We're so far out right now that tiny changes will cause big effects, so we're not going to use RCS. Just reaction wheel it up. Hence the physics warp. We haven't done a mystery goo observation over the sun, but we'll get that when we go to land on Gilly. Okay, go ahead and warp that on down. And MechJeb takes over. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got another 150-day time warp here while we actually intercept with Eve all the way up here. So that'll be exciting. We've got another 100 days to go here. I miss you, Moho. I miss you so, so much. We could always go back to Moho. It'd be easy. We just go to the Space Center and hop in the rover. But for right now, we are not focused on Moho at all. This is going to be a 2-minute burn. That'll be fine. This is going to be such a big orbit. We're going to be behind Eve for approximately no time, which is going to be great. That'll be really, really handy. That way, when we land on Gilly, the only time we're going to have problems is if both satellites are currently currently occluded by Gilly. But the odds of that are going to be pretty low. Especially if we time it right. But we do have a rather hefty burn here, so I'm going to go ahead and physics warp that on up. And this probe here, we are going to go ahead and do the mystery goo observation here. And we're going to transmit this. 19 science. Yep, go ahead and transmit. That'll be fine. And now where is that thermometer at? I think the thermometer is right here. Hello, thermometer. We're going to log that. Measuring the temperature of space appears to be impossible, huh? Well, we're going to keep trying. There we go. So we successfully recovered a bit of science from our orbiters here, but these are communication satellites. The point is not to get science out of them. Okay, once we get up to our apoapsis, we're going to just go ahead and add a maneuver here. Not that direction. We're just going to try to circularize a bit. That's too much circularization. Too much circularization. Yep. Looks like that's about the best we can do. Okay. Execute that. Once again, we do not want to use our CS. Absolutely not. And we're going to have to keep a close eye on MechJeb here. MechJeb might screw us over. We'll see. We're actually orbiting in the same direction as Gilly. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, I suppose it's because we flipped around as we came in. Yeah, that's probably it. Okay, so we should be doing this burn momentarily. It's only 72 meters per second. We have so much overkill here. It's just insane amounts of overkill. We're probably going to be using the same basic probe design for most of our communication satellites that we put over each body. Is that 4? No, it was 3. That's what I thought. There we go. All the radiators are now on. They don't necessarily need to be, but they're on. What did we get? Oh, the first scientific data from Eve. That's nice. We still lost huge amounts of money on this. Okay, looks like MechJeb did not screw us. We've got an orbital period of a long time. What is our orbital period? 80 days. Nice. So yeah, that's going to be a really solid communication satellite for us. Just at the edge of the Eve system. Fantastic. Okay, let's head on back to the Space Center then. And then the question becomes, how do we want to land on Eve? Well, not Eve, Gilly. Well, I think personally that science data from surface of Gilly, we'll take that. Okay, so we have been losing some of our contracts, I think. They've been timing out. But that's okay. So, science data from surface of Eve, from surface of Gilly. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and that's not what I told you to go to. VAB, go to the VAB. Let's just go ahead and really fast drop a rover on Moon and Minmus. So let's open up the, what is it, the Geraldo? Yeah, Geraldo Mark 1. There we go. Now, this is probably a huge amount of overkill to get there. For one thing, I really don't think we need 4 couples here. So let's jump these off. And let's just bicouple this. No, not quad. We're bicoupling. There we go. Okay. With that, we still have ridiculous amounts of delta V to get there. So, maybe we just drop this stage entirely? It's a possibility. One that I don't hate. Although this is the root part. Let's reroute this. We're going to reroute this to be the Rovemate. Did we successfully reroute it? Yes. Okay. So let's drop this second stage for this and just do something like this. And we'll call this the Geraldo Mark 1 Light. Like, we don't need to get very far with this thing. We have so much delta V as it is. So let's go ahead and launch this, and we'll get this up. We're going to place this one on the moon, and then one on Minmus probably next episode. And then after that, we'll go to Gilly. after we design a new lander. Man, this thing looks wacky. This is still overkill. Like, our thrust to weight's going to be pretty high, but that's okay. Off we go. Fantastic. Actually, our thrust to weight isn't that high, although it's getting significantly higher. Also, we have these struts up here that aren't connected to anything. Oh well. We did manage to save quite a lot of money by doing it this way. And this should have absolutely no problems getting to those locations. So yeah, off we go. We're just going to go to the moon, drop this there, and then go to Minmus, drop one there, and then we'll be good to go. And then maybe we drop a rover on Eve before we put a Kerbin on there, or a Kerbal on there. I'm not entirely certain. Maybe we do. Haven't made up my mind yet. It kind of depends on, well, I think we'd have time. Because I was just thinking it kind of depends on how much time I have left in this play session. I have this video and 3 more videos, so yeah, I think that'll be okay. But we'll see. I'll make up my mind at a later date as to what we'll be doing after we put these 2 rovers up. Oh wow. Talk about single stage to orbit. That is kind of intense. Well, let's go ahead and drop our fairing. Get out of here, you fairing. Man, this rover looks wacky. Hopefully we will not have as hard of a time detaching this on Moon and Minmus as we did on Moho. That would be nice, to be sure. Okay, off we go. This SAS module is actually doing a pretty good job turning this thing, too. I'm impressed. So this is going to be 1,000 meters per second to circularize. Obviously, we're going to ditch our side tanks, but we're ditching them in space in a stable fashion, so it'll be fine. Come on, guys. There we go. So much thrust to weight. And off they go. Fantastic. And we still have huge amounts of thrust to weight here. Like, our fuel reserves are a bit high. We'll put it that way. I do think that this was overkill, even with dropping the second stage. We are going to need the second stage for landing on Eve, obviously, but for right now, this design should be just fine. I mean, we have 2,000 meters per second in the rover itself. It's kind of insane. And there we go. Circularization is now complete. So I'm no longer feeling ambitious, and I'm now feeling kind of lazy. So let's just go ahead and MechJeb, Maneuver Planner, Home and Transfer to Target. We're setting the Moon as our target. Moon is in a perfectly equatorial orbit. We'll be fine for our inclination. So let's just create this node, and we'll need to modify it a bit, obviously, because Home and Transfer to Target likes to set you right at the core of the target for reasons that are entirely unknown to me. Okay, this is not the direction we need to go. We need to go this way. Didn't really want to do that, but that's, I mean, it's okay. Yeah, we'll do that. That'll be fine. I like how we have 2 equatorial satellites in close orbits here. It's kind of pointless. But I believe one was a contract, so. Okay. Off we go. Coming for you, Moon. Next orbit. Coming for you, next orbit. One thing's for sure, this will take a lot less time in terms of game time to do this. Good old stuff in the Kerbal system. Is this a satellite that we're catching up to here? I do believe it is. There we go. Another 10 minutes. So we're not really going to do too much with these rovers. I just want to drop them on the surface so that they're there if we see any of those science from surface of moon or science from surface of Minmus. We should also drop one on Gilly eventually. I think the higher priority is sending Kerbals there, though. So we would probably send a rover there after we send Kerbals there and get them back. Well, let's go off to the moon, shall we? Here we go. Gonna go ahead and warp up with physics warp here. Excellent. And we're gonna go ahead and do a small circularization here. We don't need to do too much. I mean, 6,000 kilometers is a little on the low side. 20,000 is fine, but let's go for like 15. I think 15 is safe for the moon, right? Well, let's go to 20. There we go. Excellent. Okay, let's go ahead and execute that node. Okay, let's execute this node, and at that point, then we just need to decide where we want to put this thing down. But for now, we'll go ahead and warp up. Excellent. There we go. And we are going to be doing our circularization / braking burn here momentarily. Moon is so easy to get to now. It's kind of insane. There we go. I mean, we're 1 day and 4 hours into this flight. So little delta V required. We have so much. Just stupid amounts. Realistically, we're wasting so much fuel. It's fine. It's completely fine. Okay, at our periapsis, let's just go ahead and lower our apoapsis down to the same 20 kilometers. Just so that we have kind of even playing field wherever we decide to put this thing down. Right about there should be fine. We'll execute that node, and go ahead and physics warp on up. 52 meters per second with a thrust to weight of 22. Yeah, no real problems. We're just gonna ditch most of this fuel, honestly. I mean, I say most of it, but we've burned out about, what, 75% of it. We won't be burning out that much more of it, though, because we really can't use it. I mean, we'll use this fuel to, like, kill our horizontal speed and such, but it'll be fine. There we go. No, that's close enough, MechJeb. You don't have to pursue it. Yeah, definitely close enough. So we can just decide where we want to put this thing down. Right now I'm thinking kind of over here. And we can set up a retrograde burn node to kill our horizontal velocity. About like that or so. Thereabouts. We'd be setting down currently in that crater, which might not be exactly where we want to set down, but also keep in mind it's going to be over this way a little more, so that should be just fine. That's going to be 544 meters per second just to kill our horizontal velocity. So let's go ahead and execute that next node. Which I do have to wonder why it's not at the retrograde. Is it at surface retrograde, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, we're going to execute that node. However, before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here, and next episode, we are going to be landing this rover on the moon, and at least launching another to land on Minmus. Hopefully we'll be able to get it landed on Minmus within the episode. See you all next time.